Okay, welcome. Welcome to all in mm, our virtual class today through Zoom. Okay, uh, we are taking, we have been taking this virtual class since the pandemic. Okay, so I'd like to uh, go through here language and linguistics, English education for 2016. Okay, and before let's say we talked about unit first. Okay, we have finished unit one altogether. It's a completely there is nothing remaining. Okay, now we'll like to go through unit two. Okay, unit two is about phonetics and phonology. Okay, as I told you before, phonetics and phonology are a very important. Phonetics and phonology, these two terms are very much important. Okay, important for the students of linguistics. Okay, for the students of linguistics, they are important in the sense that in your theoretical examination, 20 mark question will be asked from this unit, and your practical examination will also be held. Okay, will also be held um, on the basis of this unit, phonetics and phonology. Okay, most of the questions will be asked in Rupiva from phonetics and phonology. Okay, so this unit two, unit six, from these two units, you will be asked the question in your practical examinations. Okay, so from uh, theoretical examination point of view and from practical examination point of view, this unit is very much important. Okay, phonetics and phonology. Okay, we also described the term in our previous classes as well. Okay, in our physical classes as well, we described what the phonetics is and what the phonology is. Okay, phonetics is the broad study of language. Okay, sorry, of speech sounds. Okay, phonetics studies the speech sounds generally, but phonology studies what? Phonology studies speech sounds in particular. Okay, phonetics is remains one and same for all languages of the world. Okay, but phonology is different from one language to another language. Okay, in this way, phonetics and phonology um, are the different branches of linguistics as well. Okay, phonetics, phonetics and phonology. Okay, both of them are related in the sense that both of them, what both of them study speech sounds. Okay, speech sounds. The study of speech sounds is the subject matter of phonetics and phonology. The same speech sounds will be, let's say, studied broadly in phonetics because it deals with the speech sounds of all the languages of the world, and phonology deals with the study of speech sounds of a particular language. For example, we have phonology of English language, we have phonology of Nepal language. Okay, but when we say phonetics, phonetics refers to the phonetics of the world languages. Okay, the language of the world. Okay, that's what it is. The general study of speech sound. Speech sounds are studied scientifically, okay, in a general way in phonetics. But phonology is the particular study of what? Study of speech sounds. Okay, and phonetics is actually it is the science, okay, that studies the characteristics of human sound making, as I told you before, especially those sounds used in speech, and provides methods for their description, classification, and transcription. Okay, but phonology can be defined as what? A branch of linguistics which studies the sound system of different languages of the world, different languages. Okay, languages that is one by one. Okay, the phonology of one language becomes different, becomes different than the phonology of what? Phonology of another language. Okay, so in this way, phonetics and phonology are two different, but they are what? different approaches. These two are different approaches, but they are very much interrelated. Interrelated. Okay, because of let's say phonetics, we can have phonology as well. Okay, so these two are though both of them are different approaches to study speech sounds. Okay, but they are what they are interrelated. In this way, you can define. Now, you are I think ready with a pen and paper. Okay, you can let's say copy them. The distinction between the first chapter subchapter is what distinction between phonetics and phonology. Okay, here we try to distinguish or show the differences between what phonetics and phonology. Okay, the things that I told you before can be mm, enlisted here serially. Okay, now let's say first of all, let's define what phonetics is and what phonology is. Okay, phonetics and phonology are the branches of linguistics. Simply, these two are the branches of linguistics. Okay, though they are different approaches, both of them are concerned with the study of speech sounds. Okay, both of them are the approaches. They are the different approaches. Okay, they try to define the same thing differently. Okay, both of them are concerned with the study of speech sounds. Okay, so phonetics and phonology, they are the different approaches to speech sounds. Okay, and they are concerned with the study of what speech sound. The common thing between them, the common thing between them is that they are concerned with the history of speech sounds. Okay, now let's say so they are two separate but interrelated disciplines. Okay, they are the two separate but interrelated disciplines. Okay, they can be taken separately. They are studied separately. Okay, phonetics is one branch and phonology is another branch. Okay, phonetics studies the sound system generally, but phonology studies the sound systems of a particular language. Okay, but on the basis of a phonetics, there is what there is phonology. Okay, there is phonology can be the raw data will be provided by phonetics. Okay, on the basis of the raw data provided by phonetics, we do the study of what phonology. So they are two different, let's say, but interrelated disciplines. Okay, now phonetics studies sounds with respect to their articulations. Okay, we articulate how we articulate the sounds with respect to their transmission, how a sound is um, uh, transmitted and how transmitted by a person and how it is received by another person. Perception means how the sound is received from mouth to ear, how the sound goes through our mouth and how it is received by the listener. Perception means perception is the activity of receiving the sound. Okay, receiving the sound. That's why articulation, transmission, and perception of sound. This type of, let's say, process is there in the study of process is there in what in phonetics. Okay, so phonetics studies sounds with respect to their articulation, transmission, and perception, whereas phonology studies sounds on the basis of their functions in terms of the particular language. Okay, how there's a um, let's say language in a language. Okay, how the sounds are, how the sounds used in phonetics. Okay, function in a particular language is studied in what in phonology. Okay, so phonetics and phonology are the two different disciplines, but they are interrelated. Okay, so though phonetics and phonology are the branches of linguistics, and they can't go beyond speech sounds. Okay, they can't go beyond speech sound. Okay, they cannot be out of what speech sounds. Okay, other the sounds uh, that we produce through our vocal organs, vocal apparatus, okay, through our oral cavity, okay, and nasal cavity, okay, they are studied by phonetics and phonology. Okay, however, the distinction between them can be enlisted as below. Okay, we can enlist, we can keep the differences between them as given below. Okay, so here let's say you can get the differences in this way. Okay, in this way, in the form of different points. The first difference that we can show between phonetics and phonology is that phonetics studies the speech sounds in general. Okay, it is the general study of speech sounds, but phonology studies the speech sounds of a particular language. It is a particular let's say study of speech sounds. Okay, for example, when we study the sound system, there are 44 sound systems in English language. For example, English language has 44 sound systems. Okay? This is the study of phonetics or phonology. This is the study of phonology. Okay, the particular when we do the study of particular language, then that becomes what? That becomes phonology. Okay, the speech sounds of particular language is studied. When you say sound system of Nepal language, sound system of English language, sound system of Hindi language, okay, let's say sound system of British English, sound system of American English. If we study in this way separately, then we are doing about the phonology of Nepal language, phonology of English language, phonology of Hindi language in this way. Okay, that's what this is known as for phonology. But phonetics remains one same for all the languages of the world too. Okay, there are different symbols, more than 100 symbols, okay, according to the phonetics. But according to phonology of English language, there are only 44 symbols in English, only 35 symbols, okay, in Nepali. Okay, in this way we can do. Okay, now I'd like to move to the next point. The next point is phonetics is one and same for all the languages of the world. Okay, there is phonetics remains same, okay, everywhere. It is universal. It is universal. Okay, whereas phonology of one language is different from that of another. Okay? It is not universal. It is language specific. Okay, phonology is what? Language specific, and phonetics is not language specific. It remains on same for, let's say, all the languages of the world. In this way, we can show the next difference. Okay, next difference. And now I'd like to move to the next one. The phonetics discovers the phonemes of languages. Okay, phonetics discovers the phoneme of language or languages. Okay, phonemes of different. What are the different phonemes of all the languages of the world? Okay, how many phonemes are there in all the languages of the world? Okay, that is studied in phonetics. While phonology deals with the functions of these phonemes in a language. Okay, what type of function will be done by a phoneme in a language is studied in what? In phonology. For example, let's say in English language, pa can also be pronounced as pa. Pa. Okay, pen, pen, you can say. Okay, ta can also be produced as what? Ta. Okay, ta is found in phonetics. Okay, phonetics. But this ta becoming ta, 10 becoming 10 is found in what? It found in phonology of English language only. Okay, ta is common. Ta can be common. Let's say for world languages, the sound ta can be common for world languages. Okay, but the function of this ta is ta in what? In English language. Okay, when we say ta in Nepal language, then that becomes what? That becomes another sound, because in Nepal language we have ta and ta different sounds, but in English language, okay, ta and ta means the same. Okay, 10 becomes a 10. Okay, when you say 10, when you say 10, Okay, there is no difference in meaning. Okay, meaning such type of study is done in phonology. Okay, phonetics gives only the sound. Okay, and there can be aspiration of the sound in all languages. Phonetics says, but English says there is aspiration of a pa, ta, ka in, let's say English language. That is the job of what? That is the job of phonology. Phonology. Okay, clear. I think you are clear. Okay. Now, phonetics is the physical study of sounds. Okay, and alternatively, phonology is the functional study. Okay, phonetics is the physical study of speech sounds. Okay, we study about the physical aspect of sound. Okay, how the sounds are produced. Okay, what are the different points of articulation from where the speech sounds are produced. Okay, such type of, let's say, physical study is done. Okay, done in phonetics, but phonology is the functional study. Okay, how uh, let's say this sound functions in Nepal language, how this sound functions in English language. Uh, okay, that is ka is found almost everywhere in all the languages, but ka is found, let's say, in Nepal language, but not in English language. Okay, ka, there is no ka sound. Ka. Okay, ka, ka. Okay, ka is there. A kite, for kite, kite, kite. Okay, the Americans, the Britishers, they say what? They say kite, kite. Okay, but when you say cat, cat like Nepalima, when we say cat like English master cat, when you the meaning becomes different. Cat, when cat, cat when you cat no cat when you suitne bed. Right? Okay, in this way we can get the differences there. Okay, in Nepali we don't have the aspiration of ka sound. When ka sound is aspirated, then it becomes another sound. Okay, that's why this is the function of ka sound in Nepali language. The function of ka sound in Nepali language is different from that of English language. Okay, but um, in English language, ka and ka, okay, they give the same meaning. Okay, in this way I will do. And now say next difference is a function. Phonetics is the broad study of speech sounds, but phonology is the narrow study. Phonetics is broad in the sense that it does the study of all the languages of the world. Okay, the concept is same. Okay, but phonology is narrow study because it is intact to only one language. Okay, when Nepal language is studied, then only the sound system of Nepal language is studied in phonology. But when we study phonetics, then we have to see the sound system of all the languages of the world. That's why one is broad and one is narrow. Okay, broad and narrow distinction is there, okay, between phonetics and phonology. Okay, next one is simple one. And phonetics identifies the sounds. Now, so what is the main job of phonetics? Okay, phonetics actually that identifies the sounds, classifies them, classifies, identifies sounds. What are the possible sounds of human speech organs? Okay, how many sounds can be produced through human speech organs? होइन हाम्रो हाम्रो स्पेस organsबाट मानिसले कति प्रकारको विश्वमा कति प्रकारको साउन्डसम्म निकाल्न सक्छ. Okay, that type of study is done by phonetics. Okay, and the this identifies sounds, classifies them. After the identification of sound, these sounds are classified and they are described. Okay, they are described. Whereas phonology studies the sounds and their variation. Okay, phonology studies the sounds and their variation. How the sounds in a particular language function and what are their variants. Their variants means the same ka, kha, pa, pa, ta, ta. Okay, these are what? These are variants of sounds. Actually, okay, sometimes let's say we say we produce the sounds in one way and sometimes in the other way. In one language we have one type of, let's say, one way of producing sound, the same sound. In another language, we might have different way of producing the same sound. For example, in the case of fa sound, okay, fa, okay, fa in English language is what? Labiodental. Labiodental, lip and what? Lip and teeth are used in English language, but in Nepal language, fa is what? Bilabial. Okay, bilabial fa is there. Okay, so this is what, these are the variants of what? Variants in English language or Nepali language. Okay, this type of study is done in phonology. Okay, now next one is phonetics is a theoretical in nature. Okay, in nature, it is the scientific study of speech sounds. The scientific study of speech sounds. It is theoretical in nature. Only theory of language, theory of speech sounds will be identified, okay, in phonetics. But phonology is, okay, phonology is what? Phonology is um, language specific, and it is practical in nature, functional in nature. It is practical in nature. Okay, there is the practical aspect of speech sounds. How the speech sound are produced in a particular language is studied in what? In phonology. Okay, phonology. Now the last one that in our list is what? Is about phonetics provides raw data. Okay, we, these 44 phonemes of English language can be found in phonetics. This 35 sound system of English language are found in what? In, are found in phonetics as well. That is all the sound systems um, of all the languages of the world. Okay, they are um, found in what? In phonetics. Okay, but out of, let's say, more than 100 different let's say speech sounds, okay, English uses any 44, okay, 44, and let's say Nepali uses only 35. 35. Okay, these and out of these 44 English phonemes and 35, let's say, Nepali phonemes, okay, they are common. Some, let's say, more than 25. Okay, more than 25 are what are, let's say, common sounds. Okay, common sounds. Okay, so common speech sounds. Okay, in this way, there is phonetics provides raw data to phonology. And phonology does in addition to these raw data. Okay, for example, pa sound comes from phonetics. Okay? Ta sound, ka sound, they come from phonetics. But in Nepal language, okay, when ka is aspirated, that becomes kha. But when in English language, when the ka is aspirated, that doesn't make any difference in meaning. Okay, when ka is aspirated, ka becomes ka. Or initially, basically, there is the environment of there is a certain environment of becoming ka becoming ka, but always not in all cases ka becomes ka. Or initially before vowel. If ka becomes ka comes or initially before vowel, then it is what? It is aspirated. Okay, and that is, that aspiration is known as what? The allophone. Okay, allophone. The allophones are identified by phonology. Okay, phone. What is phone? What is phoneme? What is phonology? Okay, these are identified in what? Identified by phonology. Okay, so phonetics provides a raw data. It is the source of what? Source of speech sounds. Okay, speech sounds. We can get the speech sounds from phonetics as well. Okay, and phonology does in addition to this raw data. Okay, this raw data will be let's say functionally seen, will be functionally seen in what? In phonology. In this way, we'll do about phonetics and phonology. Okay, these are some differences between phonetics and phonology. You can add any other differences if you like, but from the examination point of view, okay, you can write any five, okay, at least five different differences, because this is for your short question only. No long question, no long answer question will be asked from here. Okay, that's why you have to make your practice. Okay, thinking that this question comes in um, uh, as this question comes as a short answer question. Okay, so this is all that we do today, and tomorrow I'd like to we'll discuss about the differences between phone, phoneme, and allophone. Okay, what is phone, what is phoneme, and what is allophone? Okay, these ideas will be, let's say, discussed tomorrow. Okay, you might have understood something about phone, phoneme, and allophone. Okay, so let's say tomorrow we'll do about phone, phoneme, and allophone. Okay, and let's say, did you finish copying the differences between phonetics and phonology?
फर्स्ट को देखाउनु न सर एउटा छुट्टी
Okay,
छ
okay, okay. One doing first means this one. Okay, this one. Okay, distinction between phonetics and phonology. Okay, you can copy them out, and I'll stop my screen sharing here, and I'll end up my today's class as well. Okay, you. Okay. Thank you very much for your active participation here. Okay.